It's time for the government to grow a pair and stop foreign aid to Pakistan. Pakistan is known for its state-sponsored terrorism. This is an extremist radical state that's home to some of the greatest monsters on earth, have no doubt about that, and yet still somehow the British government showers this state with money, our money. And by 2021, the UK could be spending as much as 14.5 billion per year on foreign aid overall. And this target comes from the United Nations. It sets this arbitrary target of spending 0.7% of the UK's gross national income on foreign aid. So this has resulted in Pakistan receiving some £463 million of our money in 2016 alone. And that number is only going up. And if you think somehow that this money is being spent wisely, then think again, because huge amounts of our money is being handed out to Pakistani families on prepaid debit cards. No joke. Around 235,000 Pakistani families every 3 months are receiving prepaid debit cards with about £34.50 on them. And they can spend that money however they like. And not only is it completely irrational to be giving what is essentially dole money to people who A, don't live in this country, and B, have never paid into our tax system, it's also offensive to any rational person that this money, especially in such huge quantities, is being handed over to a state that promotes terrorism. That's why I'm starting a new campaign today. And this time we're calling on the government to stop foreign aid to Pakistan. It's time to end the madness, stop funding this terrorist state, and focus on our own problems instead. And here's why Pakistan is so dangerous. For many years, Pakistan's intelligence agencies and military have been thought to be providing sanctuary to the Taliban and other Islamic extremist groups. And ever since 9/11, the West has really been pushing Pakistan to force them to better control these groups. But the pressure's been ignored, and Pakistan remains a hotbed for terrorism. The Cato Institute says that without the active support of the government in Islamabad, it's doubtful whether the Taliban could have ever even come to power in Afghanistan in the first place, and that Pakistani authorities have helped fund the militia and even equip them with weapons and hardware when the Taliban was just a small player in Afghanistan's civil war. And this extremism, by the way, it's not just in Pakistan, it's hit the UK as well. Ahmadiyya Muslim communities are being persecuted right under our own noses in our own country, here in the UK, by Pakistani Muslims, after the Pakistani parliament adopted laws declaring that the Ahmadi Muslims are not Muslims. And a vast majority of grooming gang members in the UK are, again, Pakistani Muslims. And even our Muslim Home Secretary has been open and honest about this truth. And even the recent case of Asia Bibi shows why this state is so dangerous. She was convicted of blasphemy by a Pakistani court. She's not a Muslim. And she was only acquitted not because the sentence was unjust, she was acquitted because there wasn't sufficient evidence. She was then told that she'd be unable to leave Pakistan until the verdict had been reviewed, which could take many years. Meanwhile, thousands of people in Pakistan took to the streets, angry about this decision, essentially calling for her death for daring to say something negative, allegedly, about Islam and the Prophet Muhammad. And by the way, Asia Bibi was denied UK asylum because our own politicians think that it would cause unrest on our own streets. Doesn't this tell us that the risk of unrest on our streets shows us that we've been importing the very worst that Pakistan has to offer, and yet we continue to shower this terrorist state with our own money? Does this really sound like the kind of society that we Brits want to be funding? So here's what we're calling for at stopforeignaidtopakistan.com. We're calling on the British government to end all financial aid and contributions to Pakistan. This terrorist state does not deserve a single penny more of our money, of our taxes, and it's time we put intense pressure on this country to change. Trump did it, and so can we. But we're also calling on the British government to give asylum to Asia Bibi and her family. She deserves to be safe. And by the way, there's a flicker of hope because President Trump has already cut $300 million in aid to Pakistan. We can do it too. And by the way, our Secretary of State for International Development, Penny Mordaunt, has already called for changes to the foreign aid budget. So she's calling for new ways for the private sector to invest in international development. Unfortunately, she's not changed our commitment to spending 0.7% on overseas aid. Now, Mordaunt is nearly there. She needs to realise that we want to fully stop foreign aid to Pakistan. We don't need new deals with Pakistan. We don't need kind words with Pakistan. In the wake of the Asia Bibi case and the constant influx of extremists from Pakistan into Britain, I think it's time for us to be decisive and say it's time to stop foreign aid to Pakistan. Period. Cut them off. And so there's 3 things I think that we can do. First off, let's do a huge petition to Penny Mordaunt. We've done petitions before and we'll carry on doing them because they are effective. Penny Mordaunt is almost there. She just needs to see that the British people are behind this idea of cutting off Pakistan completely. And if we prove to Penny Mordaunt that we want to stop foreign aid to Pakistan, then her new vision for the future aid budget might include tougher measures for Pakistan. Secondly, I think we can commission another public opinion poll. These are really great because they back up what we say in the petition. We'll commission a nationally representative public opinion poll asking the British people what they think about us giving so much money away to a terrorist state. And finally, we could even commission more billboards. We embarrassed the politicians outside Westminster last time with the Jail Anjem campaign. We'll do it again with this campaign. We've embarrassed the politicians. We can do it again. And let's make it clear that we want to stop foreign aid to Pakistan. Simple as that. So will you help us with that? If we can raise $2,000, we'll commission the public opinion poll. And by the way, we'll take those results from the public opinion poll, get them on a social media campaign, and make sure that everybody in the country sees those numbers. Everything we do is going to make a great impact in this campaign. We'll make sure that everybody knows that other people agree with them, that we want to stop foreign aid to Pakistan, and we'll take that fight right to the politicians and ensure that Penny Mordaunt's plan for the future of foreign international development and budgets includes tight restrictions on what we give to Pakistan. We want to end contributions completely. There's a flicker of hope. We can do this, but I need your help. So go to stopforeignaidtopakistan.com, share the petition with all your friends, sign the petition, chip in if you can, and let's get this campaign going. Cheers. Sign the petition and chip in if you can at stopforeignaidtopakistan.com, and let's tell Penny Mordaunt we don't want this terrorist state getting a single penny more of our taxes.